Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning to everyone out there on this wonderful Wednesday where our Miami Dolphins are 2-0. Week 3 of the NFL season is quickly approaching. Tomorrow night is already NFL football. So before we know it, it's week 3. And before we know it, the season's going to be over like it does every year because I don't understand how time goes faster during football season, it seems like. So,
You,
anyway,
you sounded like that commercial, dude. Rob's got 5 on it.
yeah, hey, sounds good. Hey, so anyway, you're out there in enemy territory this week as we're getting ready to play the Broncos. You're out there,
Yeah,
not just not too far from Denver. I don't know if you're north, south, west, east, but I know you're
south,
in
south
south
of
of Denver.
Denver.
That's what I was going to guess. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't look at a map often enough of Colorado to know if Colorado Springs is south of Denver. So you're in that region. It's a home. You get the feel of the Broncos all the time. So what do you think? Are the Broncos are legit 0-2, or are they a pretty good 0-2 team that just hasn't found their groove yet?
They're uh, they're a sneaky 0-2. I would call them. Last week they almost pulled off a little mini miracle. They had the Hail
That
Mary that like batted twice, and then dude reached up, snatched it, and then they blew the 2 point conversion. Man, that's like some old Broncos stuff around here.
yeah.
It was a bad call though too. Should have been a pass interference.
Yeah, I did see that. It should have been for sure. But
But other than that, if you know anything about the Broncos team, you know what they've been through over the last couple of years. Russell just got here last year. Everybody's doubting him, thinking he doesn't look like the same quarterback. Well, that's how it is when you switch systems and organizations and things of
yeah.
that nature. They went through Nathaniel Hackett last year, then fired him, and now he's with the Jets.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see how
know
that's kind of
exactly.
looking with the offensive coordinator situation. They're going through a transition phase. They remind me like a lot of the Dolphins before we had Tyreek, before we had Waddle, even kind of before we had Tua. That's kind of where the Broncos remind me of. They will definitely run the football at you and try to come at you. The defense is still really good and present. I wouldn't call them one of the better defenses in the league, but they're sneaky, mid-range, pretty good. They have some nice pieces like Justin Simmons, and obviously they drafted Drew Sanders, and they got my boy Riley Moss on the team, who's hurt. I don't think playing, but they got Patrick Surtain the second, which is Patrick Surtain's son. As we all know, if
Yeah.
you're a Dolphins fan around here, that's Patrick's son.
Yeah.
He's probably the best player they have right now, which would be Patrick Surtain the second. He's probably the best guy they got right now, besides someone like a Russell Wilson. But when you look at their division, man, they got two guys in that division that have won Super Bowls. So
Yeah. No, I know. It's good. I mean, Sean Payton is a good coach. Dolphin fans should be familiar with Sean Payton because he basically cost us a draft pick while the Dolphins were doing some tampering with Tom and Sean.
yeah, they
So
say they gave up draft choices just to get Sean Payton, and then draft choices um, to
yeah,
do what
he
they've
cost the
done.
Dolphins
So
draft. He cost the Dolphins some draft choice and the Broncos some
and the
draft.
Broncos, yeah, you're right. You're totally right
At least,
about that. That's a correct. That's correct.
yeah. So because the Dolphins went and they went and hey Papa Paul, good morning to you, man. Looking forward to having you come down to South Florida.
Good
He's up in the
morning.
Tampa area and he comes down to all the Dolphin games, all the home games. So good stuff from Papa Paul. But yeah, I mean, I think this season's off to a fun. Just for it's been a while, Justin, since you and I, as Dolphin fans, almost start worrying that we're getting a little too cocky and a little too confident because we just feel like we're a team in a groove right now. And of course, you don't want to peak. Like you say, it's most important to be playing this kind of football in December, January. And of course, if you make it to the dream game down in February, that's when you want to be playing your best football. But it is good to see it. I just think there's a little air about Miami. I think they see all these other South Florida teams doing well, and they're saying, "Man, we're going to become the third, fourth fiddle in the town if we don't start putting out what." And it's just like McDaniel has this little air. He has an aurora about it. He just has like, I'm not saying he's the next great coach. He has long ways to go, but he just has this. You just feel like he's the guy, that we haven't had for a while. He just gives me off that, like, oh, he's the man.
No, you're hitting on all vibes that I'm feeling right there. And the talk of around the Miami Dolphins has been a lot about Coach McDaniel. He's getting into his bag of tricks, man. He was dialing them up the other night. The way they're scheming things up is, shall I say, a lot of people are echoing changing the NFL. Those speed motions that he sets, whether it's from a condensed split, regular split motion, some trips to one side, twins, however they're pulling it out from the backfield, I don't care.
Yep.
It's really hard to defend. Like how they like crouch Tyreek down right behind the tight end and they'll try to hide him, and then all of a sudden he'll shoot out like on a speed motion, and then we'll snap it. That does things to the defense that you wouldn't even believe, because those guys have to account for all of those. For every motion, it's like a boxing match, right? For every motion that the offense does, the defense has a counter. And it's like the counter comes a lot slower on the defensive end than it will on the offense because of the motions and the things that you can do.
Right.
He's changing things up, man. He is like I told you,
it gives Tua a good chance to see what kind of defense. He can see the coverage better. They say, because they kind of tip their hand when all them. So
not only that, but then you figure against the defense we're practicing against, he's going to get all kinds of looks in practice that he normally wouldn't get against other defensive coordinators that have been here in the past. It gets us more trained up for the football field, for things we really need to see out there. The one, I don't know why I keep going back to this play, but that tunnel screen that he snuck with Waddle underneath that play, where
beautiful.
It was beautiful, man. I was like, oh my God, did you see that? I was talking to myself. But like he had that speed motion with Tyreek going the opposite of that way, right? So everybody was like, oh my God, we got to check this speed motion. We have to account for it.
Right.
All of a sudden you see the play slip underneath that, and it was just really beautifully designed. So the more that he
beautiful design.
It was
and
great,
I
man.
bet there'll be another wrinkle this week to it.
Oh, it will. I gotta mention, I hate to keep yapping, but this is why we're talking ball.
Yeah, that's why I have you, Justin. That's why I have you here.
I was gonna say, like, the way it not only beautifully designed, but the timing of the call was just excellent, because the play before that, if you remember, we put him in motion in that speed motion. We threw it to him. So they were like, it was this really, really good call right there. I don't know, man. I've never felt this way about a Miami Dolphins football team before. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but I'm the type of dude who, like, I got a notebook and I'll write down the depth chart every time it kind of changes and place them to where I want them. You know what I mean? I'll stack the bricks.
Oh, I know. You know all these guys. You know what practice squads to poach. Yep. You're like the man I go to when I say, hey, if someone gets someone like, hey, this guy's a little banged up, who can we poach? You're the man I know that will know the answer to. And more often than not, they have the same eyesight as you, and they go get some of those players.
Sometimes we're right. Sometimes they go a little left field, which is okay. Like the Byron Cowart signing came out of nowhere, but I was like, absolutely, it's a good pickup. And the reason why is because you're talking about a squatty. When I say squatty, I mean someone who's like like low impact. He's rocked up. He's really good at the point of attack. He has strong hands. He's basically a two-gapper that can run defend. And anything else he gives you from the sack aspect is great. It's not like he's a polished pass rusher, but he's a rocked up two-gapper. And that's kind of what we want. I mean, if you look at the D-line, the way it's constructed right now, it's constructed of two-gappers. Deshaun Hand, I even would call someone like a Christian Wilkins a two-gapper. Raekwon Davis, two-gapper. Zach Sealer, you could just keep going, but some of them have a little bit more pass rush to them than the others, like Christian and Zach have more pass rush than they look like they do. I mean, can you believe what a steal we got when we picked up 92 off of when we poached him off the practice squad for the Ravens? Like, we've literally got a steal, you guys. Like,
you like that move the minute they did it. So
the minute they got him, dude, and I seen him play one game, I was sold. And the reason why is because he does things that are from a technique standpoint that I'm like, I eat up. You know, he stays locked into his technique. You don't beat him, and his hands are strong. They're heavy, and he uses them in the right way to create leverage for himself, and he understands gaps. He understands how, when I need to slash in and take an A gap, he takes it. There's no monkeying around with him when it comes out there. It's pure business, and that's what it takes to win in the NFL.
And he's good against, like you said, day to day against the run. But he's like good for one burst up the middle on the quarterback a game. It seems like he just.
I think he's got a lot more on the bone than we're getting right now, and I think you're going to see that with the step up in Christian's game, the step up in Zach's game, and then also the guys that are surrounded by him, like Chubb and Jalen. Like, I feel bad that Jalen got hurt, and I heard he was really pissed off and wanted to play.
Yeah, he wanted to play, but the coach sat him. I know.
I'm glad that he saved him from himself. Maybe we'll get the best of him once he realizes, hey, every snap's got to be all out. And like the first two games I seen from him, I know that we didn't get a lot of penetration versus the Rams and all that, but you felt him, like he was around the ball a lot. He made a lot of tackles. Like, I just want to see him going 100%, and you'll get the best out of that kid.
Hey, and Van Ginkel stepped in this place, didn't miss a beat, showed well.
He's good.
Every time that man gets a chance for the Dolphins, he somehow makes some kind of play. And like you say, in the old days, he would have had a strip sack. In this day and age in the NFL, it's not a sack.
That was. I went and looked at it a couple more times, man, and I'm going to be dead straight up with you guys. They missed one right there. That was a sack, strip, fumble, touchdown. It should have been. You even look at the play like afterwards on the all-22, and then Van Ginkel turns around and starts going after the ball after Eli Apple picks it up, and they're going to run. He even thinks it is. So, I know. In my opinion, that's that.
Yeah, that's it is. It wouldn't have been a touchdown no matter what because of inadvertent red zone, but they should have said it was a fumble. We should have had the ball. That's a fumble,
dude. As long as I've been alive, as soon as it reminded me exactly the timing of it and everything of the Hassan Reddick, Brock Purdy play in the NFC Championship game where he goes to pass it. And look, see my arm, how it's cocked back? He hits it before that comes. It's not going forward. He hit it. And then
he definitely wasn't going, but it's just his arm was moving forward because of the hit. And then it looked like he had kind of control of the ball. That's what they were saying. But who cares? Doesn't matter. We won the game.
It don't matter. We won the game.
The point is he disrupted that play. And that's all you can ask for in a guy like that. He disrupted. In the whole game, he was around the ball. He almost had an interception at one point. He was so close to. So it's just the man makes plays.
If you were watching the game and paying attention to any of it, he actually had what I would call with his hands. And like, I know somebody on my Twitter who was really good friends with Andrew. He went to tried to recruit him into Iowa, but he ended up going to Wisconsin because it was a better situation for him. They're best friends. They probably still talk to this day. He told me about his name's Daniel. His name's Schneider. Daniel Schneider. He played for the Iowa Hawkeyes. But he told me about Andrew, and he was like, "Listen, you guys got a better player than anybody's leading on to right there. There's more meat on the bone there. He's just going to get better and better and better and better." And he was right. Andrew was sneaky with his hands. He had a pass rush move that I would call a high end, which is like it's done by veterans, and it's called an ice pick. And it's that spin move that he started to get into his repertoire, where you use your off hand and you stab them at the point of attack like that. Then you spin off of it, but your elbow on the back end of it is the pick part because it hits them on the back end of it, and then you drop your other hand and you're clear.
He was putting on some great spin moves on that. It was a good performance that night.
He just added that to his repertoire, dude, and that's a high end pass rush move that I see very little people make look as good as he actually made it look the other night. So it's a high end move.
Yeah. Well, Scotty, good morning, Scotty, to you. And he brought us back to the offense. Yes, and it is a good move. But he brought us back to the offense real quick. Greer needs to be working on Hunt sensation right now. Mozart 43 yards CD runner was all because of Hunt. He is playing Pro Bowl level.
I agree with that. And not only do I agree with that, but if you look on the run to where it was sprung up the middle by Raheem Mostert, which he did most of the dirty work. Well, I'll say Hunt did most of the dirty work, and Raheem just ran it in with speed, lightning speed. Yeah. Damn, he's fast. But Hunt had this nice combo peel block where he comes up, and they're all in motion to the left-hand side, and he combo blocks with Connor Williams and helps him out real good. Bam, good block, right? But then he peel blocks a combo block and goes to the second level and takes on the linebacker right there, seals him off, and Raheem sprints right up the middle. That combination block right there by Hunt is what I thought we were getting exactly when I scouted him out of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. He's mean, he's gritty, he's nasty, and he handles the dirty work down low. He finishes his blocks. I think he's playing at a Pro Bowl level too. And yes, I agree with what he said. You better sign that dude up right away.
Yeah.
If you look at the situation there for the money situation, we got a lot of choices we need to make. And the way the line's playing, better start making them now because you got Isaiah Wynn, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson. I think even Robert Jones and Kendall Lamb all are due contracts. They're
No,
all
I
on
know.
1 year deals right
We
now.
got some definitely, like I often say though, that's a good thing when you come into, like a lot of decisions to make. It means you got a good football team, and
Yeah,
you're going to lose
absolutely.
some, unfortunately, when you're a good team. You're going to lose some because of the whole ramifications of the money and the cap and the some teams just going to blow some other players' doors off of a big bag of money that the Dolphins just can't match. So that comes with it, but that's a good thing because it's been so long since we've really had such tough decisions across the line that we got to sign this guy, we got to keep this guy, So it's a good thing. But yes, I next off season could be brutal to some Dolphin fans because we may start losing some people, especially
Mm,
not so much next year, but 2025 is the year that a lot of them could be leaving. I would say lose Connor. Real hey, Connor though is actually was one of the top rated centers. I know because they don't take in effect. That's one of the things about PFF. They don't take in all that aspect about the bad snaps and stuff. But he was actually a top 3 rated center this week in the NFL. So this past.
I wouldn't get rid of anybody. I'm just gonna say it straight up. I would try to sign every one of those guys, including Robert Jones and Kendall Lamb. I would make moves I need to make and chop the bait somewhere else. That's just looking forward into the future and talking money. Right now, they just need to be concerned about this season and this season only.
Yeah,
This is what we need to worry about. We need to take it game by game. Next up, Denver. Let's go.
yeah,
I
no,
know
that's it.
I know
I
he's had some.
agree.
I know he's had some bad snap issues and stuff, but he's one of the main reasons why the offensive line is playing the way that it's playing is because of the interior guys. Remember, I hit you up in a text the other day, and I was like, I think they got like some of the best interior offensive linemen in the
Yeah,
league right now
yeah.
with the combination of Wynn, Williams, and Hunt. Man, we're looking real stout up the middle. When I thought we were weak up the middle, I think I was wrong. And then the fortification that Vic Fangio's been doing up the middle to me is really it's turning me on, man. It's getting me so excited, and the reason why is because this is what you need to do.
Yeah,
It wasn't the sexy moves we wanted with the Akeem Hickses and the Linville Josephs and all those, but
right.
he did get guys he's familiar with. The Deshaun Hand, I like that move there. The Byron Cowart, love that, and I love the Rashard Lawrence move. Look, 3 guys, dude. They added 3 dudes, boop, 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 right into the middle, right there. And I think it's making the linebackers played a better game last game. He's starting to get more of what he wants. Like the run fits were so much better this game versus the last game.
Right.
Like they're actually stepping up and feeling them. David Long, and you know what? I always give Jerome such a hard time, but he's really not playing that bad. I just would like to see him stronger at the point of attack. Like to me, he pussyfoots around too much. And what I mean by that is when some lineman's coming out to the next level to meet you, don't just be like, okay, hi. Like, stick him, dude. I'm talking like right into his up. I don't care if you even get a penalty for rising up into his chest and
Teach
get
him the
too
next
high into
time
his
to be careful coming at you.
yeah, I don't care. That's what Jerome needs to do. And
And
when
use
like
his
a
speed maybe more too when the guy's coming at him to dodge a guy if you
yeah,
can't.
there you go. If you're not going to use your hands, at least use your speed the way that Long tries to and sometimes succeeds. And what I
Right.
mean by that is go ahead and shoot the gap. Go ahead and run through the defense.
Yeah.
Like the way did you see the way that Javon Holland came up there and they weren't ready for him? He's going to feel and he's acting like he's going to blitz, and then they didn't account for him, dude. They were all in like a zone, a wide zone scheme, and he ran through the whole line. The lineman didn't even expect for him. Bam! He blew up the play, tackle. Behind the line of scrimmage for like 4 yards. That's a run through. That's what the linebackers need to be playing like Javon does at the line of scrimmage. See, that's their job.
And yes, I do think Cameron Good. They're gonna. I don't know who they're. Don't. I know your next follow up question is who they're gonna. Because yes, they're going. They can only protect him and
They
move
can
him
only
up.
do it one more time.
Yeah, and then so after that, I don't know. But yes, he's going to be on the. They obviously
Sure.
like him.
No,
He's
sure. The
really good
reason
on. He's really good on special teams.
no, he's
So
special
someone
teams.
someone. I just don't see them getting rid of an Ogball right now just because of his contract. Next off season, they would be Ogball 100% sure. I would say,
I,
but
you know what? I'll be honest with you. Someone like that, I'm off as the GM right now. I'm trying to trade a couple
yeah,
players, and Ogba's one of them, and Cedric Wilson Jr. is the other one. We've been talking
yeah,
about it all for a long time. Don't think that they're not thinking about it too. So if you could get anything for it, right
yeah,
now is the time to do it. Get them to another team. Get them to another situation. It's early. Not a bad idea to try to get some of that off your roster
yeah,
now. As we've been talking, you got a lot of
yeah.
contracts coming up, so yeah, you're trying to get rid of that. But the good thing, I'll be honest with
Take
you,
money.
I like Cameron Good. Throw them fins up, baby. Throw them fins up. Yeah. I like Cameron Good. He's a good special teams player, like Rob said. He's been a draft pick by us, been groomed along, bringing him along, developing him slowly. He has some pass rush to him too. You guys don't think he's just this, this linebacker. He can cover and he can blitz. That's what I like about him, and he can tackle. That's what you got to do to fit into this Fangio defense. Granted, he's just cracking up onto the team right now, but sometimes these guys are the ones that turn out and show up. Maybe we'll get lucky. You never know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll get a roster spot. I think we'll see what happens. Ogba, Baker, and Cedric all gone in the offseason, if not sooner. Bam! Damn, Scotty's on fire again. I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, man.
good.
Shake Money, what's up, brother?
And that's Papa Paul saying good morning to the
Oh, Shake's
shake.
a good dude,
But
man.
anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go back to McDaniel real quick because when you got all talking and I thought of a point. What's going to be the best thing to see, and you're already seeing wrinkles across the league. You know you're doing stuff right when it's a copycat league, and you do stuff, and you other see teams, and they're starting. They don't do it at the rate the Dolphins do, but there's because that's a lot of off-season installs there, telling, hey, on this you got to be lined up here exactly. It's not just a
Yes.
whole bunch of running around. They have to be like where they have to be.
If you
So
if you really want to be quite honest, it was kind of flattering to. It sucks that we had a kick blocked, okay, but it was flattering to see the way that they did it. Kind of bit off of what we're doing, but they used it in special teams. And what
yeah.
I'm talking about is Bill Belichick using Schooler like that. The
Oh,
snap
that's
and
going
what
to
I
be. You're
heard.
going to
This is
see that, like Chris Collinsworth said. You're going to see more of that.
no, you're going to see it. Yeah, I agree. You're going to see it on every level of football, from college to
until
high school
teams
to the
start. Yeah,
NFL.
I know.
I
Until
don't care where it is, someone's going to start using it. And the reason you
yeah,
guys,
because when that first happened, I go, he had to be offsides. Where did he come from? Running from the sideline?
Oh, you remember?
you
Do
know?
you remember the play I hit you up to? And we were, because me and you were texting during the game. I was like, no, he was lined up off sides. He's in the neutral zone. I went
Yeah,
back and looked at that play, and dude, Matt Judon is lined up in the neutral zone. It should have been called offsides. It didn't. We won the game. Who cares?
yeah.
But
Hey, I know. But yeah, that was just some crazy stuff.
it
But
was
yeah,
nuts,
so I
man.
think you're going to see wrinkles around the NFL and the college of what McDaniel's doing. I mean,
I
it takes
did
a
hear.
lot, though. But I think you're going to start seeing a copycat league.
I did hear something about that play that kind of made me go, I bet you they're onto something there. And it was a special teams guy talking about. I think it was something on the. I think it was Pat McAfee. Someone mentioned it because Jake Bailey was a Patriot, and they mentioned something about when Jake Bailey, because they know his tendencies, about how when he goes for the snap, how he'll raise his head up, and when he raised his head up, that's when he went into motion, bam, and it all happened that fast. But when he raised his head up,
Well,
and I'm talking about our holder, when Jake Bailey raised his head up like that, that was a key giveaway for their defense because somebody's been watching them on that side. It's the Patriots. They know him.
yeah.
And that was their key. That was his key to go. Kind of like a rapper, when you hear that one beat, bam, then that's your key to go.
And
That was his
I
key.
believe that's half the reason that Jason Sanders shanked that last one so bad because it was in the back of his mind. Oh my God, this guy's going to come flying in. I got to hook it this way to get away from him. And he just shanked it horribly, man. I mean,
You
he had
know
the
what?
distance,
Like,
but
I used to think that same thing, that the refs are always against us. I still kind of do in the back of my mind. And they were getting. I even hit you up, Rob. We were talking again, like they're getting a lot of home cooking, but we overcame that. We overcame that home cooking. We overcame all the mistakes that we made on the field, because we made a couple. And we still won the game, so I'm not complaining. We're not one
yeah.
bit. And I'll be
No,
honest
I'm
with you,
hoping we get some home cooking finally coming, back to Miami. Hopefully,
I
we
think
don't
we
always
will.
get that home cooking for whatever reason, but
Yeah, you're right.
hopefully we get some home cooking back in Miami. Finally, a home game, and I'm hoping that we get a couple of little calls here. I mean, I don't want any call. I want the game to be played. But if there are going to be some bad calls, I hope it's at least a little more neutral both ways. That's
Yeah,
why I thought New
absolutely.
England was so funny when they were complaining about the one call, but they thought And it was the right thing. He was short. I mean, I know Belichick looked at them, like he was going to kill him. Like they went and, that was New York telling them they were short. He should have been marked short to begin with, and then wouldn't have been an issue. So,
Yeah,
but
honestly, he was short of the line of game, plain and simple. If you want to go look at it again, go look at it again. If you looked at it, he was short. Even if they did complete it right there, I don't think they would have won the game. We would have came up with a stop somewhere. Sanders will be gone this offseason as well. That's fine as long as you replace him with Harrison Mevis from Missouri. I'm
yeah,
okay with
yeah,
that.
Messi. Yeah, Messi would take the whole Dolphins salary cap. He would be the only guy on the team that they would have of what he's making. He'd
Yeah,
be
no
like,
doubt.
"It's
I'm
the
good.
Miami Messi football
I'm
team."
good on that.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I,
So he would
to
just have to
speak
pay for free or something. He has so much money, but from what I was hearing, that he's the deal he got to sign with the Miami soccer team. Oh my goodness. So
to speak a little bit more where you were talking about the coaching staff and in general just our football team for where it sits right now.
yeah,
Like I said, I'm kind of a fanatic. I'm a freak. I know our whole lineup and all the practice squad guys, but sometimes I get caught up because, like you told me before, I didn't know Verone McKinley was cut and then brought back, and they slipped him through waivers. That's a smooth move right there. I can't believe you got away with that.
yeah.
But the way that we have the lineup constructed right now, I think a lot of people who are bad mouthing me, maybe even being included too. Like sometimes he makes moves I don't really like, but Chris Greer, man, you need to give him a little kudos right here. He has actually
And
done
like I
a
said,
nice job with this roster and what we
yeah, it's
have.
looking good. I'm saying
Um,
that I still want that playoff W before I give the big kudos, but he's
no, I hear
done
you, and I
well so
understand.
far to get us to this point where we're up there playing very well, 2-0, all you could be at this point in the season. So I give him the kudos there. And
Man,
Chubb, really helped the club last week on so that's the one guy I'm hard. I'm on Harden, Greer, and Chubb are the only two guys I'm really hard on the Dolphins. Everyone else, I'm the famous old homer and
you
give
know,
they're Dolphins, but Chubb help the team hustle too. You can't coach that.
that's
That's
a
just
pure hustle
hustle.
play, dude. That's a pure hustle play.
And I
Pure.
like that because a lot of guys, if he wanted to chase him down, no one would have said, "Oh, I can't believe but he did it." So
You
that's
know,
why I say,
I want
"Hey,
to
Adam, good morning to you, and of course,
Adam
fins
Sadowski,
up to
what's up,
you."
man? Fins up. I want to reiterate again on the roster. I don't know why I keep going back to it, but the roster is constructed beautifully, not just of players, but of coaches. Coaches as well. The coaches we have on this team right now are bringing a winning philosophy to the team that, and it was weird because I went back and looked and I was like, oh, when we had Flores, we had more Super Bowl winning coaches and all this. That don't mean nothing right now. In
Yeah.
fact, it means probably the opposite for us because now you got more coaches that are hungry to win and players are hungry to win. All of that. That's a good thing to have.
No, no, I like
Okay.
that. I like that hunger. Yeah, a
But
little winning experience helps, but I'd rather have coaches with that new first time hunger. Just nothing like that first time hunger.
exactly. Like I like
Because
having Ronaldo Hill on the football team as a coaching staff with our team right now. I love it. It's making us that much more better in the coverage aspect. Everything's so much crisper from communication, the coverage. I love the Austin Clark because he's the D-line coach we've had for a while now. I like him. He's good.
yeah,
I like the guys we have right now. Like I know everyone wanted to throw Butch Berry under the bus from what happened in Denver.
right.
Right
But
now,
no, he
dude,
has a unit playing better.
I'm
He's
giving it to
definitely
you, dog. I'm giving
maybe
you
we
kudos.
finally
I'm
have an
giving you
offensive line
props.
coach that would be maybe we finally have an offensive line coach that would be here more than a year.
I hope so because
So
he's looking good. I'll even go all the way down to the special teams coach, Danny Crossman. Man, you are having these guys starting to play a little bit better. I like it.
no, he is.
Keep
Yeah,
it
because
going.
nothing
Everything
he
we
can
have
do
right
with
now.
Sanders missing a field goal. And it was a 55-yarder, but I think we've just gotten in the NFL. We're so used to kickers. When I was
Sure,
younger, 50 yards was like a big field goal. You're like,
sure.
you wouldn't even expect them. But nowadays, these kickers are making 50-yarders all the time, and Sanders has the worst
Man,
fifty-yard
if he just would
percentage.
have hooked it or kicked it a little bit more to the right, and it would have hooked right into the left, he'd have been
Yeah.
fine. But I'm willing to give him a reprieve and let him keep kicking. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that; they want to bring in a kicker tomorrow. That's fine. I'm good either way, and the reason why is because he worked it out last year. I'm going to give him a chance to work it out
Yeah,
this
no,
year.
I mean, he is the most accurate kicker in Miami Dolphins history, so there is something to that.
I'm
But it's
good
just
with where
what
we're
from
at. Well, at least we have a guy who can make it from that distance or get it. He had the leg, he just didn't have the
yeah.
accuracy
Oh, he
right
definitely
there.
has a leg, and all of his kickoffs, he can boom out of the end zone either direction. So
I want to say something about that right there. Okay, that kick, I heard this too as well, which I thought made a lot of sense. These are rumors that I'm hearing. Same thing with the Jake Bailey thing and the holder, where they seen his head go up and that was their key to go. Don't
Right.
think for 1 second, because I'm telling you, as a coach, dude, I've seen this before, especially on special teams. I coached when I was on that team. I coached special teams and I did the D line, and this is something I've seen and noticed quite a bit. Is something like that will change the cadence of the snap from the kicker and the holder. Like they got to be on the same point at all times, and I don't think that snap was exactly where Jason Sanders wanted it. And don't think for 1 second that the kick that got blocked on their field goal, where the head thing went like that, didn't creep in there. So I think it might have had some sort of timing issue going on with the snap on that field goal attempt, and I think it maybe threw him off. That's just what I'm thinking.
I don't even think if Tua doesn't fumble the snap or Connor doesn't snap it bad, it's like debate. That's like a 50-50 debate. Who was wrong on that play at the end? Some people
That's
blame
on
Tua.
Tua.
Some people you're a Tua blame.
That's on Tua again. Yeah.
Okay, that's on.
Absolutely, it's on Tua, bro. Look, watch the play again. It's the same thing that
Yeah.
happened in the
I
Chargers
know, but some
game.
people said you can see him move slightly before he even snaps the ball. That Connor was already getting ready to block, so he moved. So maybe Tua needs to be quicker to snatch that ball out of there. Who knows?
Well,
But
if that's the case, just snatch the ball out of his hands and get going with it, dude. You don't have time to mess around. Like I seen the same thing that I seen in week 1 right there. Like when he botched the snap and Tua was pulling out before he has the ball. Grab the ball, then come out.
I know they got to get this fixed up, man. It hasn't cost us
I'm
a
not
game,
worried
but
about it. I'm not going to worry about something like that. They'll get it fixed. They got it fixed last year. They'll get it fixed again. Same thing with the kicker. And I'll be honest with you, we should be glad that we're dealing with something so minor as a snapping issue going on.
Oh no, I know, but that
right
it might not be minor at some
figure
point.
it out. It's minor. It really is minor. I don't think
right now it is. Yes, and that's what
it's a nuance of the game they're going to figure out. Trust me, they're going to work on it.
I know. I believe so too. They're probably practicing right now as we speak.
Right now, as we speak, they're probably in Connor Williams' backyard figuring out this center quarterback exchange problem.
Yeah, I know. So they're so I'm sure they're working at it. But anyway, my whole point of that conversation was that McDaniel, I think, was going to go for it there if if it was like close. But after he lost, that's why he kind of changed. He changed his mindset. He said, they may have picked up the first down if Tua doesn't on third down, but he said, he goes, oh, my mindset kind of got changed from what I was thinking once we lost that snap and we lost a couple yards. So
I think you're right. It's crazy. I know we've only had a couple fourth down calls so far because it's early in the season, but on the fourth down calls, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. I'm seeing some greatness, and what I'm seeing the plays executed to swift execution, like Tyreek and Tua, Waddle. They make it look so easy on these fourth downs, and it's because he's so fast. It's great, but the thing I'm really noticing, and this is my coaching eye jumping in there again, my scout eye, my coach eye, seeing this. The offensive line on fourth downs is blocking like their lives are depending on it, dude. Like it matters to them so much. Like you can just see it, dude. Like it's locked down. They're like, I can't let this dude get by me. Like it's not gonna happen on a fourth down. Like they're out for blood on fourth downs.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we agree. I agree with you, Shake Money. The minor thing can be a big difference in the game.
Dude, it
hasn't
is a
the
big
first
difference,
2 weeks.
But let's not be like, oh man, they're gonna lose the next game on a snap fumble. If they do, they do. That's on them. But let's not think that it's like the end of the world. Yes, Shake, you're right. They do. In fact, in football, it's sometimes the difference between winning and losing. But right now, I don't think. I think we should just give them some time to work it out. It's not happening on like an every other snap basis.
I know.
A couple times a game.
I just thought it was going to be the shotgun thing, but now it's like under center that they have the issue. So it's just weird.
No, there's a lot going on down there though.
I know that because they're pulling, they're moving, they're doing a lot of assignments, and there's all kinds of stuff. I know we do a lot. I think we're more prone than other teams because of all that. So all the positive that motion comes.
Do you guys remember when we had Ted Karras playing center down there? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
remember Teddy Karras playing center? Remember when him trying to herd the kittens? That looked a lot worse trying to play center than what you got with Connor Williams. And what you see,
he's doing well. He's like I said, I don't know how much weight you put into PFF grades. You know what I found out this week? I'm always late to the party. That Chris Collinsworth owns PFF. I did not know that. So
no wonder why they're so skewed.
I did not know Chris Collinsworth owns it, man. He's made so much money because Joe Rose had him on, and he was saying that they are he has like 800 employees now for that PFF. That's like crazy,
That's
man.
nuts to me that a former player owns PFF. That's fine, dude. Cool. Kudos to you.
Yeah, I did
I
not
think
know
you
that. I was like,
I think
man,
you get
probably a lot of people did. I did not know that. So,
Chris,
but
Chris, if you
anyway,
watch
that's
our
cool
show, you need
stuff.
to hire me so you get better offensive line grades and they're not so skewed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I said, so the top five, I'm gonna go real quick. Top five offensive players this week for the Dolphins were odd. This is where Ahmed, I mean, he left. I know. Connor Williams, River Craycraft, Tua, and Raheem Mostert were the top five. And then we got our top five defensive players as Chubb, Van Ginkel, Wilkins, Kohu, and David Long. That's what PFF said. So that's what I said. I don't know sometimes how they rank, because just the human eye would say, Mozart had a better game, but I guess they do all kinds. I don't
It's
know,
graded
they
on the like a per snap and what you present, what you do on that snap, kind of like a hockey plus minus rating. That's
right.
how it's done. Yeah, I can tell right now by the way they're doing it because Ahmed only had like 2 or 3 looks and then had that groin injury and came out.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it must be. And then of course Van Ginkel and Chubb, I knew that at least those make sense. They were up there.
they're
So
not bad.
that's
His grades are pretty decent for the most part.
yeah. Well, I know
They're
the
all right.
offensive linemen, they say a lot of them say it's the most unfair grades of all the
That's why
groups
I
because
said the offensive line stuff skewed. And when you said Chris Collinsworth owns it, I was like,
yeah,
oh, it makes sense now
yeah,
because he's
because
a
the
wide
reason it
receiver,
is
former wide
like
receiver.
because I hear a lot of offensive line coaches and
Everybody.
people, they said that's really hard because you don't know what assignment they've been given. They could look
Yeah,
like
but you
some.
can kind of see it if you pull the all 22. You know the assignment. If he jumps out there
All right, so maybe
on a
that's what they do, but that's what they were saying. So maybe that's just their defense because they don't like being graded lower on the offensive line. So
you
who
can see
knows?
most of the assignments if you look at it and know football that well, though. Like if you
Right.
want to grade it,
All
yeah.
right.
Like the way I would do the offensive line ones would be it's on a win rate basis. Like if you get a win 1-on-1 and you win that, to me that's a win, and that's how I
Right.
would do it. And then by the end of that, you'd be graded in the 80s and 90s and stuff like the way most of the good linemen at least would. And then they wouldn't be complaining about it like that no more.
Yeah. No, I know. Hey, it's good. But the good thing is we are 2-0, buddy. Your team that plays out, not your team. You're a diehard Miami Dolphin fan, but you live near Denver. They're traveling here. What's the local media take if if you ever listen to talk radio? Are they like thinking the Dolphins are gonna kill them, or are they thinking that they can come in here and like knock the Dolphins off their high
I
wagon right
listen.
now?
It's funny you say that. I listen to talk radio every day, and I'll be honest with you, especially down here, the talk right now is I don't think they really want to come down to 305 and play this football game. In my honest opinion, I don't think they want to play it. The local media tends to be leaning to the Dolphins should blow their doors off. Um, Honestly, just like what I seen on Sunday night, that game shouldn't have been 24-17. It should have been more like 35 to like 10.
Yeah, I know
Um,
we missed some opportunities. We led the whole way, which is a good thing. We never relinquished the lead, but we sure did flirt with relinquishing it a couple of times. But
yeah,
you
but I
know,
think that's got a lot to do with. I think Patriots are just a little bit better than maybe we gave them a little credit for.
oh, I
Oh,
know for sure. I know,
some
and some
home
people would
cooking,
say,
some home cooking went in that.
I know. I mean, yes, the Patriots are 0-2, but that's because they lost to us and they lost to the Eagles. Those are two of the top teams in each conference right there that they've lost to. So
Absolutely, dude. Like it's
it's going to be
crazy.
interesting to see the Jets and Patriots play this week. Historically, the Patriots have owned the Jets, but the Jets defense is really good and could give Mac Jones a lot of nightmares. So it's going to be it's in New York and
I
should
think
be
the Patriots are
interesting.
going to win.
Yeah. Do you think the
Yeah,
Patriots win? Because I know
yeah.
Belichick seems to own the Jets, and it's
I
just
just
like,
think he's going to win because he's going to do exactly. He's going to get after Zach Wilson, make him force the Jets to beat him
yeah,
with Wilson, not on the ground. I think the Jets have a real problem going on right now. I know they got a great defense. I'm not trying to hate on their team or anything like that. It's playoff caliber, but you have a defense right now, and that's it. I know you got
yeah,
a couple of running backs and some wideouts, but without an offensive line, you'll be stuck with your wheels in the mud the way the Dolphins were a couple of years ago.
yeah,
And you won't be able to operate correctly. The thing I'm really loving about the Dolphins right now, I hate to keep reiterating on it, but it's the reason why we're having success is it's built the right way. And what I mean the right way is it's got the perfect mixture of rookies, young players, and veterans. And when the biggest part about that is the young players and the players with the ascension on the rise. I want to talk about like Kader Kohu, Andrew Van Ginkel. They're making plays left and right, and their football instincts are very, very high. That goes out to the scouting department for the Miami Dolphins, whoever's in charge of the lead head scout there, in charge of the scouting department. Kudos goes to you. You're doing such a great job right now. Keep it up. Kuho and Van Ginkel made plays that are low-key, low underrated last week. Like the one play where they screened it out and they're trying to get the ball out of Mac Jones's hands quick. And Van Ginkel's just two-gapping, right? And he's like, oh, that's going to be a screen. He immediately sees it and runs down the line of scrimmage and forces a short tackle, maybe even a tackle for loss because he got out there and read it so fast.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that won him that job during this training camp process.
Oh no, man. That's why everyone thought Van Ginkel was going to be gone. That he was going to be like, oh, they're not going to be able to keep him money wise. But obviously, Fangio says, hey, not so fast here. And they were saying, oh, guys, that we could lose. Fangio, obviously, the minute he got hired as DC, has started looking at film from last year and saying, who's this guy? We're not losing this guy.
Yeah.
Let's. What? He's a free agent? No, we're keeping him. So let's go do what you have to do. And they signed him. I was like pleasantly surprised when they kept Van Ginkel. I thought for sure he was gone. That he would, and I think he did get a little bigger money elsewhere, but he likes it down here, and he stayed.
It's crazy how everyone's wanting to stay, and I love it. And the reason
No,
why
that's fine. That's
good.
what makes a good
it's
team.
It's really good. Yeah, you're
No,
right.
it's good, man.
You're right.
Because that's where you get long, sustained winning. And I thought we kind of ventured off from the long, sustained winning when we started giving up first-round picks and big monies to players. But if now that we can do back to the sustain, now, we got that base and we get, the bottom of the roster guys, you can keep on churning. Yes, you might miss one or two guys that you don't want to lose. You may lose a Kristen Wilkins one day, or you may lose something just because, like Papa Paul said, they can do some kind of magic and kick the can down the road again on contracts, but eventually, you have to pay the piper. But how they're built right now, they're good for the next couple of years. Let's get it. Let's bring it home. But like you say, 1 week at a time. Let's worry. Only this week, we're only worrying about the one team, and that's the Denver Broncos. We all know who we play the following week after. We don't need it, as long as the team doesn't even know. I'd rather the team not know. We as fans, of course, are already looking ahead. Oh, man, we're going to be 3-0 going into Buffalo. We can do that as fans. We may be more disappointed if that doesn't happen, if we're thinking that way. But as players, they just have to say, we got Denver this week. We got to be 1-0 this week because that's how McDaniel has termed it. That's why he breaks it down 117, 217, because he likes to be 1-0 each week. It's like it doesn't matter what happened. The minute that game's over, it doesn't matter. Either you lost or you won. Doesn't matter. Now you got to concentrate on being 1-0 this week, and that's their preparation. Every week they want to be 1-0. So I do believe that we got the right coaching staff, the right players. I mean, they all know they're human. They know Buffalo's coming near. They know because they look at the schedule too, as much as they try to say they don't. I mean, it's just human nature. You're going to want to see, oh, where am I going this year? So they know, but they just got to concentrate on Denver, take care of business, walk away. Hopefully, we've been pretty lucky. I know Waddle we don't know about because he's in protocol. But for the most, and then Ahmed has the groin issue, but at least it's not torn. But then of course Phillips got hurt in practice of all things, and so, but overall, since the devastating injury to start the camp, we got out of the games for the most part. I mean, injuries are going to happen, so there's no jinx in it or not. Injuries are going to happen, but the first couple of weeks we've escaped for the most part. So that's what we need to do against Denver: get the W, escape relatively injury-free. We're going to have guys with bumps and bruises and get ready for Buffalo after that, but win this game first.
Absolutely. Everything you just said right there, absolutely. In fact, what I really like what you said is how this team is built for longevity. I don't think any of us would have really seen this coming from a mile away because we didn't think maybe the light was going to pop on where it's coming on now for us, like the Austin Jacksons and the undrafted rookie free agents that we picked up that are on the team now, like the Brandon Peeleys and the Chris Brookses and guys like that are helping us out. Kader Kuho last year, we didn't expect this. Hopefully Julian Hill will start playing and showing us why we got him on the team as well. I just think that it's filled with these guys who are they're eager and wanting to play. Yeah, we'll have to kick the can down the road somewhere, but if we miss on a guy and don't get someone that we really want out of all the money we need to spend, hopefully we have someone right back up in line behind him that's going to step up and fill that void. And it's funny that I just really have never felt this way about the Dolphins. I feel like if something was to happen, which I don't want it to, we're scaving a lot of bumps in the road, I'll say right now during the season we're facing. We're going around them. We're finding a way up and over them. But I feel like the next man is willing and ready to step up wherever. I think that the Dolphins have 3 and 4 deep at every position that we have on the lineup right now. We are loaded. And when I mean 3 or 4, I mean, I feel that the third or fourth guy, if we needed him, we'll step up and answer the call. That's how I really feel right now. I think the team is built with the coaching staff to do that with these guys is why. So I think the coaching staff, if, say we got this, I'll use Julian Hill again, the dude out of Campbell that no one knows about. And we need
he's been inactive the first 2 weeks. I know you told me about him. He's on the active roster for a reason, so they obviously see something, but I guess he's just a little banged up, so he's been inactive the first 2 weeks.
Well, the point I'm trying to get at is no one expects him to be any good and stuff, but we're getting that much more out of all these guys because of the level of coaching that we're getting right now.
Yeah, no,
the level of coaching is that much more better to get a player who was good. We're going to make you borderline great. And then the ones who are great, we're going to make you all pro. And that's the difference between the coaching you're getting now and the coaching you were getting beforehand. It's night and day what we're getting right now. They pay a lot of attention to detail. Like, I know I was like, oh, the snap things ain't that big of a deal. I'm just saying that right now because that's coach talk. That's what they're going to tell you. It's not a big deal. We're going to fix it. Hell yeah, it's a big deal because it's all those small things that are going to make you win. But on this level, for us as fans, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. We're not losing games off of it. We're fine.
Hey, things are looking up. And speaking of up, guys, I'm horrible. I forgot to put Justin and I names up there today. I'm the worst promoter in the history of YouTube.
You're good,
and make sure you give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you happen to stumble across this channel the first time and like what you've seen, please tackle the subscribe button. And also, if you ever buy anything from Fanatics, if you can come to my link down there, boom, I'm an affiliate partner with them. It will help the channel. You pay no more, get all their applicable discounts, and boom, you get a little bit of your Fanatics gear, but yet help the channel at the same time. So everyone wins. And you can always reach out to Justin for other kinds of gear and all kinds of stuff right there. JPF Scout on Twitter. Just DM him and he will get back with you on any kind of stuff you want to. So, guys, just thank you for joining, by the way. We're going to wrap this up here in a couple minutes, Justin, because, both you and I were a little slow getting moving this morning. You on the West Coast, me even here on the East Coast. But, hey, it's good to be a Dolphin fan right now. I like it. I like the confidence the team is displaying. Our coach has a little air about him, like running with the camera. Just fun stuff like that. It's just like a little, hey, we're here. We're Miami. And we're going to – we're doing Miami. Even Tua – he is not only playing better on the field, he is just has his. I mean, he's a little more confident. You can just see the way he carries himself, and the teammates are saying, "Oh, he's changed so much." The rookie, like the veterans that have been on the team for a couple years, says, "Oh my God, it's like a 180 personality because he used to be like really." Now he's just like out there being a leader, telling guys where they have to be in practice all the time, but telling them, good ways too, and it's good to see. So I think and you can even see in the way he's in press conference now. He's not afraid, like, because the poor guy, the first, and I don't say poor guy because he's making good money to play football, but the poor guy mentally, he had to be asked questions. Oh, do you think the Dolphins want Deshaun Watson? Oh, do you think the Dolphins want this? Weeks and weeks of that was what he used to get hammered with, and he just had to be so, I just play when they play me, and what do you think that you got yanked for Fitzpatrick? So it's so good to see him, just the change and what he's got.
Feels good.
Yes, he has that mojo. Yes, he got mojo now. Huh? Good way to put it, Scotty.
That definitely feels good. I'll tell you. You know how I knew we had the right guy? And it was a couple years ago, is when I actually watched an interview with one of his teammates, Duke Riley. And Duke Riley was just enamored with Tua. Was like, oh man, if you ever really knew Tua, man, like the way he talked about him was just. I knew we had the right guy right then
Oh
and
yeah, I
there.
heard that too. Yeah, yeah, that's great. I think that was it was like, man, he was so fired up about Tua and whatever,
I'm not
and he
playing,
is,
dude.
man.
That's when I
And
knew. I knew
for one
right
thing,
there.
Tua's a good guy, but yes, good guys don't always win, so that's not that important. But he's a good guy. He works at his craft. He's getting more confident. Given the time to be upright, yes, he gets out of the ball quicker than almost anyone in NFL history. I was reading in charts that he's getting the ball like in like Dan Marino, like quickness 2 seconds and
Hey
stuff.
man,
But
that's not a bad thing to have to your marks. In fact, I was
no,
going to speak on that. Like he's reading defenses so fast right now. He knows exactly who wants to go with the ball before it's even snapped. I
yeah,
seen plays that he was like, no one's giving the kid credit. Which when I scouted him out of Alabama, this was something I liked was his setup and his technique in the pocket. Like he'll go from an RPO and move into his feet turned and his whole hips shifted and moved and his feet set up and the ball's out. And that's
yeah,
the kind of
no,
stuff that I'm sorry, you guys, you can't teach that. You don't
no,
teach
you
something
can't.
like that.
And
It's
I'm learning to
natural.
love it, man. Me. I've always told you I've rocked with whoever's a Dolphins quarterback,
That's my
kicker,
guy. That's my guy
long
right there.
snapper. I always roll with my Dolphin guys.
You know,
But yes,
I'm crazy
real
about that.
quick,
It's
and then
crazy.
I
I
let
never.
you talk. I did
I
real quick is that I admit I used to be, and I'm only guys. I'm only 5'7", 5'8". If I lie to people, it depends where I am. But you know, I just grew up with like, oh, my quarterback has to be 6'3", like Dan Marino with a rocket arm. So it took me some getting used to, and like, oh, he can do it a different way, but still be. And then I'm not comparing; he's not nearly on that level yet. But what I'm saying is that you can, because if you look at Justin Herbert, he's that prototypical. Oh, he's big, he's strong, and he has a rocket arm. And yes, Tua's never going to be that. But can Tua just be as good or not better in the NFL than Herbert? Yes, he can because he has the other tangibles that, may not show up at the combine when you do all the measurements physically. Right. He just, so that's what I say. So, and that's why, it took me a little getting used to because I'm used to that. Oh my God, you have to
See,
be that big quarterback and just
it's
big 6'3", like I said, rocket arm, and just swing it wherever you want to on any, and that's it. But he's not ever going to be that type. But what he's going to be is what he is, and it's a good NFL quarterback on a winning football team right now.
well, it's crazy during this whole process of getting the quarterback, which is in 2020, and going through everything. Like I scouted during this whole time. I remember going through the process and being like, man, it's going to be really hard for Dolphins fans not to fall in love with this 6'4", 230-pound quarterback who's got a laser for an arm and can make any throw on the football field, and he's athletic. And I'm talking about Justin Herbert. But the one thing that I don't think he has yet, and I don't know if he's going to develop that, and that would be called a clutch gene. Somebody
Right.
who's making a play when they have to make it. He's been given opportunities. He had an opportunity to win the
Well,
game versus us, and it didn't happen.
and against the Titans, I
Yep.
know. So he's
And
been,
so that's I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. When I scouted him, that was the one thing I was like, I don't know, man. He doesn't make the plays when they need to be
But yeah,
made.
he has the physical talent jumping off the sheets.
Yeah,
He's
but not
jumping
up
off.
here. But not
Yeah,
up
I
here.
know. So we'll
And
see,
that's
man.
the thing that
Hey,
when I
but he's
scouted
already
Tua,
the national. He's on commercials with Patrick Mahomes now, and so they've anointed him as like a next superstar. But Tua's just going to be under the radar, go in there and be the better quarterback. That's what I'm hoping for. And
man, I think
hey,
we got the better quarterback still. I really do. Yeah, even myself. Anthony, what's up, bro? Long time no see.
yeah, I know. Long time no. Well, he was in the show last night on the Real Talk Fins Talk, but yeah, it's been a while since Anthony joined me on our
It's
show, and I actually think of Anthony every so often because he says he's not gonna, like McDaniel's footnote would be when he starts doing things different than everyone else, and well, he's McDaniel's doing
that's
that, and I'm
now.
sure Anthony, but he says when people start copying what you do and stuff, and
That's when you
McDaniel's
know
all
you
that
got something.
motions and stuff, and it's just it's exciting brand of football. Like I said, it's fun, man. It's a good time to be a Dolphin fan. I'm going to enjoy the ride. I'm not going to be my old crudgy self that always say, "Oh, the next shoe's going to drop and we're going to stink again." I'm just going to enjoy this ride finally, And if it ends in heartbreak, it's
You
going to end in
should.
heartbreak, whether I'm happy all season or mad all season. It's
Yeah.
going to. So I might as well enjoy the winning while the winning's
We
coming.
got no,
And
we got nothing to lose, Rob. We got
yeah,
nothing to lose.
yeah, nothing to lose. Well, you're 100% right, man. And I just like I say, it's just good times. Feels great to be a Dolphin fan. Get to talk to our people here. Like Justin every couple times a week. All you great fans. Up, let's see. He has something to you. JP, for me, and you are different. Well, you can read what he said. It's addressed to you.
Yep. He made some
Yep.
pretty bad decisions for sure.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I think
I know
one
the
thing we
Chargers are find a way to lose. They're a good team, and people are saying, "Oh, they're 0-2," and the Minnesota Dolphins in a beat. But they're good. They don't have that overall clutch, as you say. They find a way to lose all those close games at the
yeah,
end.
that's
So
rough, man.
me
Sometimes
too, Scotty. Me
it's
too.
those things you just have to do. Like at the end of games, how much can you expect Oh, I was reading that Justin Herbert to do. Oh, it
Oh,
came off there again.
sorry. This one.
Herbert to do when your coach continues to make those stupid decisions. Yeah, I know. I hear you. It's hard. He's got to sometimes put the play in his hand or call an audible and make his own play call out there. I guess is
Yeah.
what I'm kind of getting at. But yeah, to Mike McDaniel's putting Tua in great positions and great spots to succeed, and that's what I expect out of the damn coaching staff right now.
Yeah.
I think something we need to remember as Dolphins fans right now, and just I always keep this in mind because I know this is not the defense that we're going to get in the end. This is just what we're doing to get by. Vic Fangio right now is missing some key pieces to his defensive backfield. Nick Needham, Jalen Ramsey, Brandon Jones. None of those guys have even played a game yet. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
Brandon's he's been on the active roster, but yeah, he's not getting any snaps for the most
You haven't
part. It's
played no snaps though. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I know.
getting at. Like
Yeah,
we
and
need
I
you to
think
play
he will. I
snaps.
think he will eventually. I
Because
think he
then you're going to
will. It's
figure
just
out what's going on with that other, like the safety position, with the deep safeties position, that's settled up right now. I think because I like the way Deshaun Elliott is playing, and like he's a good combo with Holland. But when you're looking for like a rover robber type guy like that, that's where the Ramsey stuff comes into being a lot more heavier than I think anyone thought. The defense can be even better than it is now, and even the offense. The offense is missing pieces too. Robert Jones. I don't know why people don't like Jeff Wilson. He scored over 23 touchdowns in this league. He's a good veteran who's a weapon. Look at the Dolphins' weapons right now. Tell me, and another team in the NFL who has what we have. No one. We have like a four-headed dragon going on out there right now with
yeah.
Tyreek, with Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, and someone like a Braxton Berrios right there. And they're slowly bringing along someone like a River Craycraft and a Durham Smythe also to being part of that dragon. They're deep with weaponry right there.
No, for sure. So Anthony's really coming out with a big predicament, saying that Belichick will get fired if they have a losing season and become the Chargers coach next year. Hey, you know what? I would never make fun of something because I would make fun of it and it could come true. So that's really outside the box thinking, Anthony.
No, but that's what you got to do right there. Sometimes you got to think outside the box the way Anthony does, and sometimes you're going to hit. And Anthony
Yeah.
was right with a lot of the draft stuff he had going on right there.
No,
So
no,
I
Anthony,
give
no,
him
he
props.
was. Scotty says
At
that
least should
Cam Smith
replace
should
Apple.
replace Eli Apple. He couldn't do anymore. I agree. He might as well. But, Eli, one of the calls against Eli was a tic-tac call, I was to say. But yeah, he didn't have a very good game Sunday night. Kind of got exposed. But that's what you can expect from Eli Apple. He will like do some crazy stuff and then he'll come up with a big play that makes you say, oh. But, yes, I think we
You see
should
that
start
tackle?
seeing
Did you
some
see
Cam
that
Smith.
tackle
But
that where
I
where
think
he
Fangio is a little wary sometimes of playing rookies. I think because he
Did
says,
you
"Oh,
know
he's
he is?
working."
I was just gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say he's not ready yet, and that's why he's not on the field. But that tackle that Eli had, where he read it crisp and he anticipated it being the smoke screen or bubble screen out there, and came up and stuck the dude. I think
Yeah,
that's what I'm expecting from Eli Apple on every snap. He just needs to see it crisper, read it
right.
faster, be there when he needs to be there. Like trust his eyes. That's what you'll hear me say that on a coaching football field a lot. Trust your eyes, because you're making the reads. You just need to get there now.
Yeah.
JP,
Hey,
I have a
Anthony has another
question.
one for you there.
Is there a scheme on defense for you play with three safeties and a star position and two boundary corner? Yeah. Yeah, actually they do it. They tried it. They've been doing it a little bit, I guess you could say, is the quarters, half quarters, quarters, half, stuff like that, where you split the field into three sections and you'll have usually one guy on a one-on-one, which most of the time will be Xavier Howard. I'm trusting Kuho to do some of that job too now if they were to give it to him. I think he's ready for it. Yeah, that would be what I would do. I'm telling you now, Fangio doesn't really like – he'll give you the run. Fangio will give you the run in order to not get beat deep. A lot of what I've seen is that kind of looks. You're not seeing him get into the multiple scheme looks yet because I'm telling you, he's missing his guy, and that's Jalen Ramsey. Then you can get into some real confusing looks to where you're showing them one thing and then doing another,
No,
or
that's what
doing
I'm looking
another.
forward to. That's what
Yeah.
we were looking forward to. And then second day at camp, I think it was, Ramsey goes down with the injury, and it just like put a little damper on everything. But I'm really looking forward to it if he gets out there. The defense, hey, they stepped up. I know some people would say, "Oh, they were playing the B-rated offensive line Patriots because they were a lot of people missing," but they did what they had to do. Now they're going to go against the Broncos, and then we see if they take another step for their defense. Because if you can combine this offense with a solid defense, and you say improving special teams, you're finally going to be that complementary football term that we all throw around out there, but actually mean it this time, where all those units perform well, and we could be humming along as the season goes, and that's what I want. Because there's no one on this schedule that I'm afraid of, but there's no one I'm overlooking. That's how I look at any NFL
Well,
season. So
if you look at the way it's set up, that it's set up for us to be that squad you're talking about. Everyone's dreaming and thinking about. We play the Cowboys, we play the Chiefs, we play the Eagles, we play the best and the Bills twice, the Jets twice. We play the best teams in the NFL.
yeah,
I like it. JP, I've been seeing this since Fangio came here, since Xavier has been slowing down the past 2 seasons, taking from injuries. It's more about age when we need to start playing more press bail coverage. Yeah, it's a you hit it. The same thing with Jalen Ramsey too, though, Anthony. That's the reason why I want to put him in the rover, robber, star, jack role,
right.
is because he fits it to a T. He can come up and he's real strong coming up in coverage for run support. Jalen Ramsey will tackle your face into the ground so fast. He's
Yeah,
one of the strongest tacklers in the NFL at that position. That's what makes me think he can do it. And not only that, but he has the acumen and the IQ to play that role. I think you'll see Xavier, like you said, doing a lot more press bail. I don't see a lot of them using a lot of press up at the line of scrimmage. They are using and if it is press, it's a soft press. It's not a hard press.
right.
The one thing I noticed about the Fangio thing, and other people from talking about him, I listened to Benjamin Albright talk about him yesterday on the Omar and Alan Poupar show, and he was right. Fangio likes to just sit back and make you beat him either dinking and dunking or over the top. He likes to just use 4 pass rushers, and rarely will you see him dial up a blitz. But when he does, it's about the timing of him dialing up those blitzes, meaning down and distance where he uses them. He used one during the game last week where he used Jerome, showed him in the A gap, and blitzed Long from outside off the C gap. But then Jerome shot and took Long's coverage off the outside there and shot over to the flats to take the running back. He is using some of it, but it's just where he's using it.
Let's see. Do you think people Do you think people are overreacting, saying that Kansas City made a mistake? Yeah, they're overreacting. I mean, we know, so they're overreacting a little bit. So, oh, maybe Justin doesn't think they're overreacting.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
ah,
I think time will tell about something like that. I think something that I'll tell you right now is that I've been an Eric Bieniemy fan since he played at my CU Buffs. I'm an Eric Bieniemy fan. I've been a fan of
right.
his forever. I wanted the Dolphins to try to pry him away so bad from the Chiefs. I think he's a low key, sneaky candidate to be a head coach one day, and I think he'll make
Well, he's
one
not staying.
hell of
Almost
a run.
his name always gets mentioned, but it's just he never gets it. But yeah, we will see. But yeah, okay. So you surprised me
Oh,
on the answer.
Scotty, damn right, bro. See, your Scotty knows Fangio. Blitz because he wants to, not because he has to. Yes, that's exactly right. He wants to blitz right there because he knows the statistics play to his advantage, blitzing right there with what he's got called on the back end of it.
Right.
And the
Oh,
thing I
I
noticed
love it.
about Fangio is he won't call a blitz without having coverage on the back end of it. It won't happen.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, none of that zero blip, like where you're like
Well,
out
if he
there
uses
hung.
a zero blitz, it'll be at the right point in time where it's
Right, right.
like
It'd be right. I mean, I never
it's
say never, but
effective.
like it's not a staple of his where he's just
Hell
gonna go
no,
to it.
dude, and not with someone like that. He's not going to let you beat him, or he doesn't want you to beat him with a big play. You don't want to give up
Right.
that.
No, he
Nope.
wants you to make you earn it, knowing that you're probably gonna make a mistake somewhere along the line on the drive. And
Yep, that's why there's like a lot of like they don't spill and it's not a lot of spill and chase. It's a lot of funnel everything into the inside, keep it in front of you, and go rally to the ball. It's a
yeah,
lot of
no,
rally and tackle, meaning you're a lot of in zone, so your eyes need to go to the right place and you need to go to the damn ball, like
yeah,
fast. Like, and I'll be honest with you, the game I seen they played on Sunday night on defense was a night and day difference between the one they played on in the first game, opening game. Like, they're actually seeing things, trusting their eyes, and hitting the gaps, and that's what you have to do
yeah,
in this defense. You can't sit back and wait.
yeah. No, no, I agree, man. And like I said, we're early in the season because we all know Cincinnati is going to be a good team and they're 0-2. So we're all getting the film, But we know why I love that is because at the end of the year and all these tiebreakers come, where we may have, be ahead of them in some of those stats. So that's good to see some of these top teams take it on the chin. Even though now the Ravens seem to be back and we got them on the schedule this year again, up there again. So it is
Right.
what it is. That's always a tough place to play. Last year we lost three quarters and came back in the fourth quarter and shocked the world. So we
But
can go up there and win, though. We can go
but
up there and win.
but Rob, it's not about them. It's about us.
Yes, I know. That's finally, I agree. You're right.
It's
So
not about
anyway,
them. It's not about any other team no more, as far as I'm concerned. Right now, when even the national pundits are starting to jump aboard this train.
yeah.
Like, I mean, they are. This roster is loaded. When I first looked at it and told you
I
that, and
almost
I'm
like
not lying.
I'm like you though. I'd rather be the underdog, but it is what it is.
Oh, we're the underdog, even if we're the underdog no matter what, dude. Even if we're that team that they're giving the point spread favor to, in my mind, we're still the underdog because we're still the Dolphins and we still haven't done
Yeah.
jack squat yet. So we just need to keep playing, and that's why you keep your team focused by being like, yo, day by day. Andrew, what's up, buddy? Week by week, just hour by hour, maybe even almost, to keep them straight focused, man. It's all about this season. It's not about and this one game you're getting ready to play. It's not about Buffalo. It's not about the Eagles. It's not about the Chiefs. It's about the Miami Dolphins. That's what it's about. It's about us and growing
Yeah.
as a unit, growing as men, and they're doing that right now, man. I'm in love with what we have built right now. JP, do you think our team is built? Yes. Let's say the Broncos game was at Mile High. Do you think our team, physically wise, can handle the altitude on top of dealing with the traffic? Absolutely, absolutely, bro. They would come here and stomp their face in Mile High, and I would be there, like right there, cheering them on. And Bronco fans be pissed at me,
Well,
but
I
you
hope
don't
so because I
understand.
hope we stomp their face here in
So,
Joe
um,
Robbie Stadium, Hard Rock Stadium, Sun Life Stadium, Pro Players Stadium, Landshark Stadium, whatever
whatever you
stadium.
want to call it.
Yeah.
But
Oh
it's
man, but I still like to call it Joe Robbie, or
but
how about whatever.
when he was
Hey,
asking
no,
me
Anthony, I wish you would have hit me up earlier. I'm just about to close out. I'm sorry,
real
Anthony,
quick
and
though,
I really got to close out.
let me
I
answer his
told
question
Justin I'm going
real
to keep
fast.
it short, and we end up going longer than I normally go.
I know, right?
I,
But
I
he
know.
asked
I told him I'm
if
going
our
to keep
team
it
is
short,
built.
but
Yes, it's
sorry,
built.
Anthony, but you're always welcome. Next time, 100% sure I would drop that link for you. I still think hurry up offense gasses our defense, and we really, yeah, I know, yeah, we weren't ready for it. Yeah, I know, I agree, because we do. I think that's why they've been secretly adding, not secretly adding, because they're announced to the public, but adding defensive linemen so we can have more of a rotation, so they're not so gassed. Where we're able to do that, but yeah,
You
when
just
they
got to
do
make
get
a
in the
play.
hurry up offense, we can't get off the field.
You just
But
got to make a play to get off the field right there. When you're in that hurry up, you just got to make a play to stop the ball and get off the field and get a rotate going in. If you stop the
yeah,
ball, you can get a rotate in.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Anyway, really got to go, or then I'd be lying to Anthony saying that we're closing the show out and I can't send a link. But Anthony, thank you. Definitely next time. I wish I would have thought of it earlier. Just didn't even cross my mind. Guys, as always, fins up, drop that thumbs up, and remember those links in my description are both affiliate links, and it helps the site if you make a purchase through those links. And that's it, man. We're done. Justin, any final thoughts before I close us out?
Yeah, Anthony, we are built for longevity and for success this season and beyond. We have one of the better rosters constructed in the NFL. Now that I've seen it go from paper to the field, I'm confident in saying we have one of the better rosters in the NFL. It's all about the Miami Dolphins 2023, baby. Buckle up. He who laughs last best, baby. Let's go.
Fins up.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause